Students, this is Sriram Shastri. I once again welcome you back to my new video session. So this is the continuation of the chapter evolution. Today we are going to talk about the last part of the chapter, that is evolution, and the topic is human evolution. So on the board, if you can see here very clearly, okay, so we have written the different stages of evolution here. Different stages are there, starting from Parapithecus, then Dryopithecus, then Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo sapiens fossilis, and Homo sapiens sapiens. So if you talk in detail about this, so the first ancestor for all the type of primitive primates, or you can say the first ancestor for monkeys and human beings, was Parapithecus. The Parapithecus existed around 40 million years ago. It existed around 40 million years ago, and the origin of the what you call as Parapithecus was in Oligocene epoch. Okay, so in the tertiary period, the Oligocene epoch was the region where it started. Then, if you talk about Dryopithecus, the first fossil ape, it's called as the first fossil ape. It had evolved around 25 million years ago, and in the Miocene epoch. Then, if you talk about Ramapithecus was the first hominid fossil. It's considered as the first hominid fossil. It had evolved around 15 million years ago in the Miocene epoch. Then, if you talk about Australopithecus was the first ape man. 5 million years ago, it had evolved, and it had a cranial capacity of around 450 cubic centimeters. Okay, and the average height of Australopithecus was around 1.5 meters in length or tall. Then Homo habilis, the first tool maker, the first hominid tool maker, had evolved around 2 million years ago in somewhere around Pleistocene epoch, had a cranial capacity of around 650 to 800 cubic centimeters. And Homo erectus, if you talk about the first erect man, also called as Java man, evolved around 1.5 million years ago in mid Pleistocene epoch, had a brain volume of around 900 cubic centimeters. Height was around 1.5 to 1.8 meter tall. Then, if you talk about the Homo neanderthalensis, also called as Neanderthal man, evolved around 1 lakh years ago in Pleistocene epoch, had a cranial capacity of around 1400 cubic centimeters of volume of brain, and average height was around 1.5 to 1.6 meters tall. Homo sapiens fossilis, also called as Cro-Magnon man, evolved around 34,000 years ago, had a cranial capacity of 1650 cubic centimeters. Average height of these ancestors was around 1.8 meters tall. And the modern man, the living man, we ourselves, Homo sapiens sapiens, evolved around 25,000 years ago, have a cranial capacity ranging between 1300 to 1600 cubic centimeters, and average height tends from 1.5 to 1.8 meters tall. So these are the important things what I have noted it down on the board for your entrance exam. Other than this, there are several characteristics which we are going to discuss it now. So if we talk about the origin of hominids, it started somewhere around the Ramapithecus. Ramapithecus fossil was identified from the mountain ranges in India, that is Shivalik mountain ranges, and from there they have what you call as identified it, and it was called as the first hominid fossil. Actually, it was in more characters were similar to that of an ape, but few characters were similar to that of humanoid structures or humanoid characters. So it is a what you call as connecting what you call as link between apes and human beings. So the first hominid fossil. Most of the hominid fossils or first primitive ancestors were generally herbivorous, fruit-eating animals, knuckle walkers, had semi-erect posture. They did not had a very correct posture. They did not have four curves in their vertebral column also. So usually they were knuckle walkers. Many of them were living on trees. Few of them started to live on land. They were colonial, but there was no language yet. From Australopithecus onwards, the posture got somewhat erected. There was somewhat erect posture was there. Homo habilis They were furthermore erect and had three curves in their vertebral column. They were capable of having a brain developed to such an extent that they used to make tools of stones and bones also, and they used the tools to hunt animals. So they began to become omnivores in nature from here onwards. Then Homo erectus or Java man, usually they were more developed than the Homo habilis. They were completely erect man, and they usually what you call as had a larger brain volume compared to the previous Homo habilis, and usually were colonial. Certain sort of syllabic language was started in these colonial animals or colonial ancestors. Then Neanderthal man. Again, if you talk about Neanderthal man, Neanderthal Valley is a place in Germany where this fossil was excavated, and then on the name of the place itself, they were named as Homo neanderthalensis. 1 lakh years ago, they had evolved. They were more developed than our previous ancestors. They had colonial habitats, Slavic language. They started to cover up their body with leather, leaves, and etc. So some cognitive ability was developed in them. Then follow Homo sapiens fossilis. They were most developed recent ancestors of us. Cro-Magnon man, around 34,000 years ago, they had evolved, had cranial capacity similar to us. They had developed certain sorts of languages. Cave-dwelling animals. They were cave-dwelling ancestors. Hominids, cave-dwelling hominids. They started art, culture also, cave paintings, etc. Then Homo sapiens, sapiens of modern man. We ourselves evolved just 25,000 years ago. We have a cranial capacity which ranges from 1300 to 1600 cubic centimeters of volume, and generally we have a most elaboratedly developed brain in terms of cognizance. We have more intelligence, we have science, technology, we have developed to go to space, and not every one of us, but some of us who are aeronautical engineers, space research center, who are working in space research center, those all people have been trained to what you call as reach the space. And because our intelligence is greater than our ancestors, human evolution is being studied for generally on the basis of cranial capacity itself, that is the volume of brain is said to be increasing and the cognitive ability with that also increased. So this is what is the main points. These numbers, these figures, these names and the stages in a sequence are very important to be remembered for your examinations. So I hope I have a very simplified, in a simplified way, I have explained the process of human evolution, and I would like to stop this video here itself. This video will be the end of this chapter called as human evolution, sorry, complete evolution, and in the next video sessions we'll start with some other chapter of second PUC. For today, thank you.